So I want to take this video to address Michael Chandler, his fight at UFC 309, and what he is also seeing for himself in the future. He's thinking about a BMF title fight against Max Holloway. So before I get into it, I do want to mention also that Dana White came and confirmed that Michael Chandler will always have a home in the UFC. And I like that. I like that he said that. And it's true, Michael Chandler, although he isn't the smartest fighter or the most successful, he is one of the most entertaining. He always comes out and performs and entertains the crowd. It was a very entertaining fight he had against Charles Oliveira. And yeah, he's a very fun guy, and I think the UFC it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative for the UFC to keep him around. But it's also an honor thing, honoring what Michael Chandler has done for the organization. But yeah, I want to also, because I'm going to go into Michael Chandler and his performance, and then I'm going to go into what he sees for his future. So first, the performance. Michael Chandler, I thought he would beat Charles Oliveira. I saw Michael coming out there and just laying it on Charles from the fucking first bell, just really running at him. Not in a way where he doesn't show concern for his fucking health, but in a way where he's in Charles's face and he's moving smart. He's moving in and out of the pocket really fast, almost too fast for Charles to calculate and respond to. A lot of straight punching, jabs, crosses, some to the body, most of them going to the head, and just knocking out Charles basically in the fucking first round. Maybe towards the end of the first round, Charles is really just overwhelmed. Mike just steps in, one last time to the pocket before landing a really strong overhand at the chin of Charles, dropping him, right to the fucking ground, ass to the ground, to where Michael Chandler can step in front of Charles and just lay on punch after punch of ground and pound before the ref steps in and calls the fight. And although I didn't see that, Chandler did look good. And Charles was smart about it. Charles wanted to bring the fight to the ground, and he got the fight to the ground for most of the fight, if not nearly most of the fight. Michael Chandler, although he didn't look helpless on the ground, did lose on the ground. He did kind of get beaten. Not even kind of, he got beaten. When Charles tried to bring it to the ground the first time in the fight, Mike did some weird backflip shit that looked pretty entertaining but kind of dumb. And throughout like the first 4 rounds, it was all Charles, just bringing it to the ground, dominating on the ground, even on the feet too, dominating pretty much with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler had moments on the feet too. But then when it went to the 5th and final round, Mike knew he was losing. Mike's coach knew he was fucking losing. The coach was like, fuck. The coach was saying some really just some uninspiring shit. And Mike knew, everybody fucking knew Mike was losing 4-0. Charles was just dominating him. So he had to come out there and do something. And even during the fucking timeout between rounds 4 and 5, even Mike was like, I've been saving it up or some shit like that. He said, he essentially was saying that he's been saving up all his energy for the 5th round, which was dumb. But we already know Mike Chandler isn't the guy to make the fucking smart decisions. So Mike goes out there and he damn near really almost wins the fight. He kind of saves all this energy for one final blitz. And in that blitz, he connects on like 2 or 3 punches on Charles, and Charles is stepping back, overwhelmed. And before Mike can finish the fight, Charles is able to recover. I think Charles threw in a couple punches of his own before the fight goes to the ground for the final time. And once it went back to the ground, that's when you knew Mike was done. There's no way Mike could break out of this shit and strike with Charles again and try to save all his energy up again for another final blitz in the last 10 seconds and win the fight. That shit wasn't happening. It wasn't going to happen. Instead, though, Charles took the back of Mike. Mike has enough ground game know-how to avoid a submission this time, at least. And Mike decides to just stand up. Charles has Mike's back. Mike sits up, stands up. Charles ain't going anywhere, so Mike decides to walk to the center of the octagon and just fucking jump backwards with hopes of knocking out Charles. I even hoped it knocked out Charles. I was really hoping it was going to knock out Charles, but, you know, that was kind of an out of reality moment. So, you know, didn't really do anything to Charles. Charles still had the back. Mike decided to stand up and do that shit again. Didn't do shit to Charles. I say all this to say, bottom line, Mike Chandler is an entertaining guy. He's a very entertaining fighter, and I like him. I'm still a fan. He's not smart. He's not skillful. And he's kind of wrongfully ambitious. He's ambitious without having the fucking tools that show why he's ambitious. But yeah, he ain't smart. He's not skillful, but he's strong and he's entertaining. And those are two things that could at least keep you in the organization without getting cut. So you got to clap it up for Mike. He did a hell of a job. I thought he would win, but, you know, I didn't really embrace reality. I didn't really take a look at reality leading up to this fight. Charles takes it. I talked about what Charles may do, but now let's talk about what Mike may do, because Mike is eyeing a BMF title shot against Max Holloway. No. What? I mean, Mike's entertaining, but I don't think entertaining. I mean, there's an argument for Mike to get the next BMF title shot, and of course it's viable because Mike's entertaining, and I guess that is criteria for being a BMF. But you know, you also got to be pretty good. And Mike can knock out guys like Dan Hooker and Tony, but against like the top fighters, Mike's got the strength and the drive, but like I said, it's the smarts. It's the smarts and the skill. That's what it really also comes down to. So the UFC might give it to him. I think what should be next for Mike is Gamrot. We haven't really seen Mateusz Gamrot in a fucking long time. So I think that would be a great fight for Mike. I think Mike just lost to Charles in a very sound manner, and Gamrot has been looking to get back out on the scene, and I think this would be a great fight for the UFC to make. You know, to see if Gamrot's still UFC criteria, to see if Gamrot's still, you know, like UFC level talent, and also to just give Mike a fight. You know, to give Mike. To give the bull another red fucking jacket or red cape or some shit to run at is what I'm saying. Give Mike something, I guess, you know. That would be a good fight to make. I don't know if Mike should fight Max Holloway for the BMF belt. I don't like that. And I like Mike. I just don't like that from a entertainment standpoint. Because Mike will be entertaining, but he'll be stupidly entertaining. He'll be entertaining in stupid ways by making bad choices and wowing the crowd with those bad choices. So, yeah, I don't like a Mike Chandler versus Max Holloway fight. In fact, I hate it. I think Mike should fight Gamrot, and Max should fight a big name lightweight. Like I said, Charles should maybe fight Max, but Charles may want a title shot next. So that's a whole nother thing. But still, I say all this to say, I love Mike. I respect him. I respect anybody who makes the walk to the octagon. But, you know, you can't say that he's the smartest guy. You can't say he's the sharpest tool in the fucking tool drawer, you know? But he's entertaining and he's strong. And those are two big things. So let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.